Hello, beautiful people and fellow winers, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Wine About with your hosts, Siobhan Camille
and Tae Michelle,
where we wine, WINE, about life, love, relationships, and more, because sometimes you just need to wine a little. So as you can see, this is another episode that is a wine in color. So you can see us on YouTube, and we hope that you join us on the couch. Before we get started, this is episode 12. We've been doing this for 3 months. Clap to us. Surprise.
A whole quarter under our belt.
A whole quarter. And I pulled some stuff because I want to thank y'all who are listening every week. And so from May 1st to June 30th, our top 5 countries were the United States, of course, United Kingdom, Brazil, Germany, and Mexico. And I will give a little shout out to Costa Rica because they were up there too. Like, we international. And I want to thank all of y'all.
We in these streets.
Thank all of y'all for listening. And in the United States, can you guess, Michelle, what our number 1 city is?
I cannot. I'm nervously excited. I don't know, because I feel like
I will give you a hint and say it's in the South.
Oh wow.
Right.
You want me to guess the city or like
guess the city? Guess first
or the state.
3 guesses on the state, and then I'll see if you can guess the city.
Okay. Georgia.
No.
South Carolina.
No.
Mississippi.
Our top city. So I want to give a shout out to everybody in Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
Right. I want to thank everybody in Dallas, Texas who is listening.
Okay, Dallas.
Y'all are pulling rank I would have never thought ever.
You heard where I went. I was like, well, I have family in those places, but I do have family in Texas. So I can't say that either.
I have family in Texas too, but they're in Houston. So I was like, Dallas. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The follow-up, the runner-ups, we got the DMV, of course. You did, DC, Temple Hill, Richmond, Largo, Bowie, Lanham, all of that. Illinois is coming in 3rd.
Okay.
To Chicago, the Chi is listening a little bit. And then we got New York,
Of course.
As well as Pennsylvania. And the shocker in the city, well, it's more the states. We have listeners in Tennessee, Kentucky on that border.
Oh, wow. Well, hello. Thank you. We definitely appreciate the support. I'm excited. I'm so excited to see what the rest of the year has in store for us. Y'all understand, like, y'all just made my whole day. Yay.
I was so touched. And thank y'all. Y'all are listening on Amazon, Google, Safari, Overcast, which I've never even heard of, and Apple. So y'all are listening, and we would like to thank you so much for taking your time out to listen to this. It means so much.
Yes, it definitely does. Like we say all the time, look, we're just regular people, and sometimes we want to whine about something just to get it off our chest a little bit, and we know we're not the only ones who feel this way. So please, while you're listening and subscribing, give us those notes, and let us know, give us your feedback on any of the topics that we have already covered, or make suggestions. We are open for suggestions. If you have something you think about one day, go, you know what? I just want to vent about this. Let's hit us up. We will definitely be, hey, yeah, we could talk about it. We could talk about it for sure. If
y'all got wines that y'all would like us to try, or that y'all have tried some of ours and you did agree or did disagree,
let us know.
Go to the website, alittlesomethingtowineabout.com. We want to hear from you. Genuinely.
Yes, we want to hear your opinions. What are your favorite wines? What are some of the wines that you like to eat with your favorite meal? Like, give us, instead of all the tea, Give us all the wine.
Give us all the wine.
Give us all the wine. For those who may be new to the show, welcome, welcome, welcome. We love you too. We thank you for coming through and showing your support. Today's topic, though, we're whining in color about something that is very, very, this one hits a little home for me. This, and I'm sure it does for Siobhan as well. We're going to be talking about hair. This is part of our beauty series, which is why it's in color. So we're going to be talking about hair, whether long, short, natural, relaxed,
texturized,
straightened, however you want to say it, press, curl, fry, dilate to the side with the jerry curl juice, however you want. to wear your hair, do your thing. We truly feel hair is an expression of you. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to talk about it on the social acceptance level of things. But before we get into that, of course, you know, we have to whine about our wine. So Siobhan, tell me what it is you're whining today.
So my wine is in honor of July 22nd. Is National Shiraz Day. So we both have a Shiraz, not the same Shiraz, because you know we don't ever drink the same thing unless it's a wine out. We don't. I have Terra Barossa Shiraz. It's 2018 by Thorne Clark Barossa Winemakers. It's a 5-star winery by the Halliday 2020 Wine Companion. I don't really know what that means, but y'all did it. So good job. So I will be trying this Shiraz. And what will you be having?
Well, I have, I want to say this is it says shoe fly. It's SHOOFLY.
Yeah, that sounds like shoe fly.
Sounds like shoe fly. And it's a Shiraz. It's from South Australia. It's a 2013. We will put pictures on our Instagram at a little something, the number 2 wine about, so that you guys can actually see the bottles. I have never had this, so we're popping grapes. You know, we like to do that. And from the smell of it, it smells interesting. Not bad interesting, but interesting like, I wonder.
It definitely has an earthy type. Mine has like it's solid. It's not light. This is not going to be light, I feel like.
So, okay, real quick wine. Just so you know, I was taught how to properly swirl your wine. You're going to take your 2 fingers, the middle finger and the ring finger, and place them on the stem. Your ring finger will go on the base of the glass, and your pinky goes close to the base at the bottom. Your thumb placement is wherever is natural, and you just swirl, just slightly. And that is supposed to give you the control that you need to slightly swirl. Just a little education. I learned that at a wine tasting, y'all. So, hey, I wanted to share. So all our fellow winers, we know how to swirl now.
And I do want to say that I learned that the Shiraz is an Australian grape. So most of them, I think, are all Australian. The Syrah is the other, it's the same thing, but that's European version. So that is what I did learn about.
Okay, look, we are learning. Okay, whatever we learn, we will share with you so we can all learn and wine together. Okay, so cheers. Here we go.
So hair social acceptance.
That was a nice sip. Yes, hair and social acceptance. For me, I will say hair and social acceptance is something that is not new. This is something that I feel like it's an age-old tale. It's cultural based. I feel like it's a very controversial topic because so many people feel so many different ways about their own experiences. Some people have positive experiences, some people have negative experiences. as an African-American Black woman, I have, for the most part, I've been okay with my hair. I think my biggest issue as far as my hair goes is just making sure that it's done to the point where I like it. One thing my mom definitely installed in both my sister and I was, as long as you feel good about how you look, then, and you're healthy, then you should be fine. So I think with that, that's why at younger ages we were able to pick our hairstyles. My mom even let us get like express ourselves with like the
beads and stuff.
What the beads? Yeah, because they had beads that looked like dog bones. That's what we called them, but it was like the three, like a triangle type thing. I'm sure you've seen it. Most people made bracelets out of them, but my mom used to put them on our hair. So we had those. We had the big jumbo beads. We had the regular beads, but my mom would literally cornrow them into like a design. So we were always very creative, or we always had a lot of freedom with our hair as long as it was done, even to the point with colors. And I know coloring is and can be a big thing depending on age, and the times now from the times then have definitely changed. I feel like my mom was a little forward with that, because while she wouldn't allow us to color our hair, we could have fake hair that had color in it because it could come out. that it wasn't going to be a real hair, but it could come out. But I think a lot of that had to do with just society in itself. As we were speaking earlier in reference to coloring your hair and social acceptance, because for a long time, the typical standard of beauty is Euro.
We all know this.
It is, and Euro, straight, blonde hair. So, it was, remember when everybody wore like the streaks, everybody wanted, I want blonde streaks. And then if you had red streaks, you were kind of seen as like a rebel, or any other color. It was like, oh, you a little edgy, and just that whole perception of what color meant in your hair, kind of like with fingernails too, but that's a whole nother wine for another day. And makeup, because remember your mom was like, you're not wearing no red lipstick, you ain't grown. So I feel like any type of color that wasn't natural, it was automatically assumed you growing up too fast, you trying, I feel like in some senses it may have been I don't want to say over sexualized, but in a way, if people are seeing as you being too grown, maybe it was like, oh, you grown. People your age aren't going to look at you. They're going to picture you as something that you're not, maybe. I don't know. But as far as that goes, I wasn't raised to know that my hair in itself, in its natural form, wasn't socially accepted. I didn't find that out until I got to high school, when we started talking about getting a job. When you start talking about getting a job, it was, when you get a job, you have to have your hair, they would say neat and in place. And we, growing up, I thought that was, oh, okay, so I need a perm. That's what you're saying. Right. Pretty much. Oh, okay. I need my hair needs to be straight. Nothing rough and what is it? Rough and raggedy, not raggedy, but edgy. Raggedy. Yeah, that. Y'all know my language, my words. I'm working on it. So when that came about, it was, oh, okay. I had already got relaxers, so I was like, that's easy. Just make sure your hair is neat. Fine. It wasn't until like really getting into the workplace, especially when you start talking corporate, where I realized, oh, if you have a bush. No, my first experience was with locks. I noticed my job wasn't hiring people with locks. I never thought anything about it, and then it just kind of,
You start
Right.
noticing things.
You start noticing things. You start thinking. Your brains and at the back of the head, the wheels start turning.
Right.
And then, if you have locks, you know, your dirty locks. Why do they have to be dirty? How did you wash them? Like not wash it? How do you know that? So those types of things. And then it was, you can wear locks as long as you keep them neat. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that? I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. So I think that's when it really became, then this is what the turning point was for me. I went to work and we worked with my first job, and it wasn't quite corporate. It was dealing with children. Mm-hmm. One of the girls wore her bush. Gorgeous. Like hair. She already had the hair that it was like, if you wet it, it was, the quote unquote, acceptable hair. But she wore it out. She had blue dry. It was gorgeous. It was fluffy. It was like, ooh. I was like, I want my hair like that. Not knowing, girl, that's not your hair texture. It was a whole lot more into that. I was like, I want my hair like that. And she got sent home. It said her hair was unruly. And I was like, first of all, we work with children. Do you not see what they look like when they ripping and running through it? That's first. But they was like, well, it's unprofessional. I was
She's
like,
a child.
No, this was a person who worked there. She just wore her hair out.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all.
I was like, but it was like, I was so confused because, back in the day, our parents, they wore bushes.
You know, they blow out the big blowout
and trend. And so I was so confused. And then the more classes I took as far as entrepreneurship and things like that, when they would go through those things and teach you that, you were like, oh. So I don't think I hate it. I didn't turn my hair into hate. I just liked my hair straight. Until my head decided I didn't want to get straight no more. And that was some years ago. Like, that's recent. And then I was like, okay, well, now I'm forced to wear my hair natural. And again, from then to now, the hair care line, hair care procedures, and all of that have grown. People are seeing things differently. But that's just my hair experience as far as social acceptance, as far as, hairstyling goes. I have seen stories lately on the news about the gentleman who just was allowed to become a lawyer. He passed the bar some time ago and he refused to do something with his locks, that sort, and because it wasn't quote unquote acceptable. And to me, for this to be the year 2021 and the fact that we're still dealing with this social acceptance of your hair,
right?
That's a problem. That's the problem. We have gotten to the place where we're not working in coal factories. We have iPhones, all this technology, and your hair is a major issue in society. How you wear your hair. Not how you keep it, not the smell of it, like not, none of that. But the texture of something or something kind of like, just like your skin color, you cannot control as far as the texture and how it curls or how it's straight. It's still an issue in 2021. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? Like, what's up? Like, for real, that blows my mind still to this day. Like, completely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And God knows this 4C texture head that I promise you, if I wet it, the shrinkage is real, as we like to say. It's a struggle for me. But it's a struggle for me to do it, not a struggle for me to accept it. And I can't say I don't understand, because I do understand. And the reason why I say I understand is because I understand. I look at hair in the same way I look at racism. It's just a whole nother
line to
hair
the
over
side.
here, whole nother section. So it's just it's one of those things. Was like, come on, y'all. It's so many other things out here we can have an issue with, but you have an issue with this person having locks. You have an issue with, that's not even go there, the girl who decides to shave her hair off. Oh my goodness, she shaved her hair off. What's wrong? Is she going through depression? And I'm guilty of that because one of who's now an acquaintance of mine, she did that. And my first thing was, is she all right?
But that's what we programmed to think, that if a woman cuts her hair off, then there's something wrong.
And this is for someone, and it's funny, and you're right, it's a program, because in the same way she did that to her hair, I had already been there, done that to my own, and nothing was wrong with me. So I feel convicted. Sorry. But yeah, because I have worn the quote unquote rebel hairstyles where you shave off one side of your hair and your hair is long on the other side. Then I went and shaved the other side and I had a mohawk. Then I went cut it all off and I had the whole little natural thing. And then I will perm it, went and cut that off. Girl, me and my hair been through some things, okay? But, and you know what? I have another story, but I'm gonna let you go on and talk because I talk too much.
I will say, for me, social acceptance of my hair, I've never really had a problem with it, but everybody else seemed to. And I guess I'll say this to touch, this is how the bullying started. So real quick, I was 7, second grade, when I went to my elementary school that I wound up going to. It was a K-8 school. I got there in second grade. Second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. I want to say it stopped in seventh, but there's a caveat to why it stopped in seventh. And that's a one for another time. But for 5 years straight, every day I heard, "Oh, you nappy headed. Oh, you nappy headed." And mind you, these were other Black children. So we do this to each other young. Yeah. And then I want to put this aside in there, that we do this to each other as children, and we harp on girls, because I heard this from girls and boys, mostly girls, but boys did this too. And then when you become older and you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, these same boys that called girls nappy-headed when they were younger want to turn around and say, "I don't understand why y'all want to wear all these weaves and wigs and this, that, and the third." Because apparently you forgot that you bullied Siobhan and Andrea and Lisa about having nappy hair when they were children. But now let's address that elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen, especially to the gentlemen, although I'm sure they're not gonna listen to this because it's Beauty Suite. But that's what bothers me as an adult, is all these dudes that I see everywhere talking about, why can't Black women love their hair? I'm sorry. I will put money that you called some chick nappy headed at some point in your life.
Or the songs.
Or the songs, all of that. But I'm not
ain't got no hair in the back, jailed up, weaved up.
You rocked all of these songs and you quoted them to girls, and now you want to know at 20-something why all the Black women let you tell it, why Black women don't like their hair, why y'all always wearing these wigs, why y'all want to be like white girls, why you want to be like Spanish girls, because you didn't call them nappy headed. But I'm digressing back to where I started. So for me, I was called nappy headed. Now, the funny part, there was a girl who led this charge, and she was Black and Puerto Rican mixed. I'm putting that out there. My mother said, well, maybe she'll change. I said, no, whatever. If my mom's listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You on that thing about people can change. I stand by what I said. Not everybody can, no. But she led the charge. The funny part was, I'm gonna tell you part of why it stopped around sixth grade was, we went to a lake for a field trip because it was near in the summer. We went to like Green Lakes, I think is what it was. And we all swam, we whatever. This girl bullied me worse than anybody else for 4th grade, 5th grade, and most of 6th grade. 6th grade, she was sitting on the bus and she was like, I had my comb and I was about to comb my hair out. And Siobhan, why don't you let me comb your hair? And I was like, I was like, this doesn't end well. I feel like if I say no, it ends poorly. If I say yes and it catches one time, it's going to be a problem. But I was just like, fine. Cause I couldn't really get the back anyway. So I was like, fine, here. So she combed it, right? I will never, ever forget this in my life. This is 11-year-old me letting this girl comb my hair. And she was like, oh my God, your hair is not that nappy. You had harped on me for 3 years about part of me wanted to punch in the mouth. The other part of me wanted to be like, no. It will be nappy till you die because you swore for 3 years that it was nappy. Don't come at me now talking about your hair's not nappy. I'm not trying to hear you. But it was, oh, your hair's not really nappy. The thing about my hair is it's deceiving because I have four curl patterns in my head. So the back of my hair is a solid 4B. The middle is pretty much a 3C, 3B. The front right is it gets to be about a 3A, 3B. And then the front left, for whatever reason, is a solid like 2B, 2C. All I got to do is take a comb today after washing in the shower, and it's just straight. But this is what happens when your heritage is African, Native American, and European.
And everything else up in there.
Everything else up in there. That is what happens. And so, and that's with like, and mind you, at the time when I was 11, I had like a kitty perm. Okay. So like, it was a, kitty perm.
Just for me. Okay.
And I, as an adult, have had, I've done the relaxer thing. I basically only relax. Like, it's funny because when people be like, natural pro relaxer, I'm literally standing in the middle because I get the back half of my hair relaxed because, and as you said, to me, it's more about hair being healthy. And the reason I get the back relaxed is because I'm lazy. I don't want to do it. So if it's curly, I'll braid it. Like, and you've seen where the back of my head is braided and the front is over it in a ponytail. You can't really see. Or I'll put a weave in literally just the back because I done braided it and and I'll get a weave that's close to my texture and keep it rocking. But it's because the back, because it's 4B and I can't really get to it, and I'm not gonna sit here and whatever. And at the time, it took me so long to find a moisturizer that worked, it would break off. That's really what it came down to, was like, well, if it's relaxed, the air gets to it, my hands can get to it, I can get through it without all of the extra, and then the comb's breaking it because I'm pulling through dry hair and I can't find a moisturizer. Now I have been able, as you say, as products move forward, I've been able to find various products that work for me. In fact, I just got some new ones. I tried Miel, and I actually really, really like it. I was looking for something.
That's how you say that.
Yes, Miel. I'm assuming. Mielle says Miel to me, but it could be Miele, Miele. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Look. I was like, oh, Miele. I was like, that's close to Michelle. I'll try that.
Look, M-I is me in Spanish. E-L-L-E is L in French. Me-L. That's what I got, okay? That's who I am.
My name. Boom. Okay?
Right, take the out, Miel. See what I'm saying? Michelle, Miel, right? It's all right there.
It works.
I'm with it. It works. I'm not. But she keeps my hair moisturized, and then Camille Rose has a really good, because I see a lot of stuff on Instagram, and it's funny because just before, and we'd had to talk about social media, just before we did this, all I see now is hair. All I see now is hair stuff. And all I see is this stuff about Chebe powder, and this will grow your hair, and this will grow your hair, and this will grow your hair. I like Camille Rose because I like the tingle, I like the feel, I like her product. But I would say for me, as far as social acceptance of my hair, I never had an issue with it. And I have cut it off. I didn't cut like razor shave. But I cut my hair right when I was living in Boston. I went home to New York, and I finally, because I've always thought women with short hair were like gorgeous. and I wanted short hair, and I went to my hairdresser and I was like, just cut it. We cutting it. And I showed her a picture and it was like layered it was longer in the front, shorter in the back, make it happen. And I did that. And then I basically let the relaxer grow out. So I went full natural for like a year, but because my hair grows so fast, I had a weave in it. So like I cut my hair in March and I could put it in a ponytail, whack ponytail, but I ponytail by like July. So I was like, and then it got to that weird, awkward stage where you can't really do anything with it. It's not really short. It's not really long.
Let me tell y'all, this here stage, this from this part to this part, this here is why I don't like to grow my hair out, amongst other reasons. This here stage.
Yeah, the neck to the shoulder.
Like, what are you doing?
It's awkward.
What are you doing? Because my back is always long and it feels like the middle of my head never gets here. Like it gets here and it never gets there. And then again, my opinion, my experience, girl. But that phase right here, I'm with you. I get. But no, I'm with you with the short haircut. The girl, I was in high school. Lady told me, yeah, we don't have to cut your hair because your hair is completely damaged. I'm looking like, who? Cut who hair? Now, it's not like my hair was long to begin with. Like, I had a decent ponytail. You know, I was like, what you mean? So she was like, no, if you don't want all of it to break off, you're going to have to cut it. Girl, she cut my hair. When I say I cried. When I got to school, people was like, oh my gosh, you look so pretty. And on the inside, I was like, what in the AP double hockey sticks are you guys looking at? This is horrible. I'm bald-headed. To make it worse, one of my homies, she started calling me little bald-head monkey.
Oh no.
She was like, hey, little bald-head monkey. And she would just, and she meant it in a funny way, not like, haha, I'm teasing you, because I got a little peanut head. Like I do. So I was like, and I was a lot smaller then, and it's a whole thing with me and her. Like, it was a whole story behind it. So, and it was just a thing. So I was always a little monkey, but then when I cut my hair, I was a little bald head monkey. So it was like, oh, okay. So I let it grow back. But when I got grown and I cut my hair, and I realized my features, you know, because when I was in high school, I wasn't one of those ones who recognized features and things like that. That wasn't what I was into. It was strictly dance. If it won't dance, I ain't care about a body, a butt, a arm, nothing. So feature wise and being aware of your body, I didn't grow into that until after high school. Mm. So I was a late person in that. In fact, I hated my body because I was known as the girl on the dance team with the big butt. I couldn't stand it. I still don't like it as an identifying piece, but I understand now why they said what they said. Still don't accept it, but I understand it. Right. So with my hair, it was always, oh, this person got long hair. Now I had to cut all mine off. This person has this, you know, that. Then when it got to the point, I was like, you know what, fine. That's when I got to high school. I was able to, my mom went to tracks and weeds. So I started learning about that. And girl, you could tell me nothing. In fact, my freshman year pictures, it was my first weave. And it was really, really curly. And you know how when they used to have you sit up and cock your head to the side? Mm. For some reason, I always had people who wanted me to cock my head like all the way to the side. So my freshman year pictures, I have like these beautiful curls. Stop like down here. But it looks like my hair is too heavy for my head because I'm literally like this.
Yeah, I don't know what photographers do in school. School photographers were terrible at holding.
Y'all had a vendetta against me because I promise you, I didn't take a good school picture. Not even my senior pictures, girl. Horrible. And I think that's why when people was like, oh, when I got offered the modeling thing, I was like, y'all was like pictures of me? Like, no photographer like taking pictures of me. Like, what? I like taking pictures of me, but it don't work out right.
Yeah, I feel you.
So, and that's where the whole weave thing started for me. But Yeah, I wasn't shunned or anything like that. Yeah. Hair for me is like it's something. What the story I was going to tell you was like why it's on my mind. I went to work. Now, people at my job have seen me do a whole bunch of stuff with my hair. And my whole bunch of stuff is a whole bunch of stuff, but in a very what I consider eccentric way, in my opinion.
Okay.
I went to church. And this lady says, "Oh, you cut your hair." This is when I did the shave. You cut your hair. I was like, yeah. She said, and your job didn't say anything about that? First of all, my director said, Michelle, no. This Christian here girl is getting ready to let you have it. Okay? But that was the first time it was like, what does my hair have to do with my capability of my job?
Nothing. But I will say that is part of what's been pushed on us is, again, just this acceptance of Euro standards and pushing it on each other. The whole nappy-headed teasing thing that people do maliciously. I'm not saying, joke, but I'm saying maliciously.
Yeah. And
what you got, right, what you got from work or from the woman at church about work, because we are conditioned to, you got to do this. And I'm not gonna say I wouldn't have an issue. I wouldn't have necessarily an issue with it. I understand it from the fact of the ruling class, whether it's the majority, as it is right now, of Caucasians, or the elite, because again, I'm watching Reign, and you have kings and queens who are like 5 people, like their whole courts is like them and their family, 5 people who are telling the whole nation what to do. That's the way that it is, but that does not mean that you need to bring it home. That does not mean that you bring it to your community. You understand, for example, and I use languages because I love languages. If I know that in my house we speak Igbo, my house speaks Igbo. Now we may go outside and have to speak English because we are in America, but when we come home, Igbo. And if you're going to bring English in here, don't bring the bad stuff. So if you're going to bring the Eurocentric based stuff home, which you kind of have to in ways because it's unavoidable.
It's just where we are.
TV brings it in your house, if nothing else. But the whole, you nappy headed, all of that, the anti-blackness of the major culture or the larger culture, people really got to stop bringing that home. Because you raise children with it around them who then become damaged adults later. So as I said, to bring it back, it's those guys now in their 20s and 30s going like, I don't know why these Black women hate their hair. Oh, y'all hate y'all hair. Like we just we just woke up one day like, oh, I hate my 4C. I hate my 4B. Right. I don't like this. I'm gonna go get a weed. Like we just one
what
day.
What are you comparing it to? Why do you hate it? Like, why do you hate it? What are you comparing it to? Well, her hair is straight. Your hair can get straight. Her hair can't do what yours can. So if nothing else, you got an advantage. You more versatile. But like you said, TV program. Remember when we were younger? What is it? Vidal Sassoon. What do we see? All the white women with the hair flip and the eye, and it was the wind blowing, and in the 80s movies, the pinup girls, they were able to have the sleek, and it was, when they let it out, it was luxurious according to them. So
but we also brought the stereotype that we can't have long hair. And that's my other problem. Yep. Because I know a lot, like our niece, Kiki's daughter, long. My hair has always been long. There are other Black women. You can go all over YouTube and see Black women, straight, pure African women to Black American women, hair down to their booties. Like it can be done. But what you saw on TV was, as you say, the swip, and any Black woman who swipped had a weave. And my issue with it isn't that the Black woman had a weave. Y'all seem to fail to want to acknowledge that everybody else had one too. The white chick got a weave, the Latina got a weave.
Let's talk about accepting that. Let's talk about social acceptance with the white woman wearing the weave. Let's touch bases on that. Let me tell y'all, just because y'all call them extensions, infusions,
ma'am,
it's still a weave.
Ma'am. Hello?
Period. I don't care. Someone can take a dump in a yard and you can call it whatever you
compost
want.
And any of that other stuff.
It's still a dump.
Yeah.
And that's not the word that I want to use, but I am
we
trying
to keep it clean. Right.
Because my ratchet side over here, like, get it, girl.
But that's what it takes, though, and you and I both know it takes for the ruling class to acknowledge, even if it's something that the subcultures have been doing forever, regardless of what that is, regardless of what subculture it is. Really, I know we focus a lot on Black Americans getting things whitewashed, if you will. We're not the only ones, but it happens, and this is why, though, because you, like I say, you get that ruling class to decide. Because I remember, speaking of color hair, I didn't get color hair. I couldn't, and the most. I guess for it to make up for years of not getting color hair is when I did the mermaid and just put every color in at one time. And I do want to say, though, shout out, because that was my 27th birthday, my best birthday to date. And shout out to our sister Erica, Eureka, as I call her, for putting that in there. And I got so many compliments.
Yep.
That whole weekend.
Yep.
But it just shows the change, because I remember when, for the 4th of July, the Black girls around my way would do the red, white, and blue braids. And that was considered ghetto.
Oh, my sister, speaking of Eureka, or as you call her, Erica in high school, and this is why I say I feel like my mom was very forward in reference to things. My sister was known for being the girl with the colorful hair. Pep rally, homecoming, like anything that had to do with spirit. If your color, it was orange and like
green.
She had an orange ponytail, a green ponytail. If it was something going on, it was this color. And like I compliment her for being that bold, because again, for me, that's a lot. But for her, and if you know her, you know that's her personality. That's who she is. That is still who she is to this day. 100%. But she was that person. And that's why I say I feel like my mom, as far as social acceptance with hair, she shielded us from a lot of it, which is why it was kind of a culture shock as I got older as to what was quote unquote acceptable.
Right.
But yeah, my sister was not afraid of color. Like my sister learned how to color tracks. She is like, you can say, hey, I want to be rainbow bright. She go, okay, well, let's go get the bleach, the this. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you go do that.
The only thing she hasn't been able to do for me is my Aurora Monroe Storm White. But if she can figure that one out, you already know I want that. I want the all white hair. I promise you, if I can find, let me tell you right now, people say whatever they want to say about tracks. If I can find somebody that can give me a white weave, you will never see my real hair again. You will never see it. By the time I take it out, it'll be down to my butt because my hair goes stupid.
I'm a type of person. I love Storm as well, but like I'm a salt and pepper person. But I'm with you because that's the one color that I would do. Like it was nothing for me to walk up in school and have braids, and it would literally be like gray in my hair color. And people are like, oh my God, that makes you look so old. I'm like, I want salt and pepper hair. Like y'all don't understand. Like if I could have it, which at some point I know that I will while I shield my grace. But I love, my grandmother has a white, just right in the front.
She got the robe happening.
She got the robe right in the front. And I love it. And the rest of her hair is salt and pepper. Don't know why, but that's what it is. So for me, salt and pepper has always been a thing. But I know you have been talking about this white hair for the longest time. So if anyone out there and listening If you know, please hit her up. But then I don't know because I'm scared because I might not never see a hair color.
Listen, let me tell you, at my grandmother's funeral, my Aunt Jean came. And I'd never met this woman. It was the first and only time I probably ever meet her because she up there in the 80s too. Well together, like 100% can walk, talk, do all of that, but she up there in age. And she came and I literally turned to my mother and said, goals. Her hair was white and straight. And my mother was like, yeah, her beautician told her, you got to pick one. Either you can color it or you can relax it, but you boo cannot do both because you will have no hair. So either you go all white and straight or you color it and stay curly. And she chose all white and straight, and God bless her for that, because when I saw her, I said, hug me and let the waters of your hair rush over me so that I may inherit the all white, because you got what I want, man. You got what I want. I want to be swinging white hair in people's face.
That's my auntie. Now, one of my aunts, my aunt Sue. My aunt Sue is the one who taught me how to love my short hair, because she has dementia now, but before, when she didn't, you talk about a woman that can wear a short haircut, and she taught me how to maintain. She taught, and because I was really, this is when I first got my haircut, when I didn't want it. I really went through, it was very traumatic for me. I didn't want it. I didn't like it. I didn't. She's the one who sat me down and taught me how to accept it, love it, embrace it, train it, take care of it, the whole 9 yards. So with that, I appreciate her for that. Outside of that is the auntie that could cuss you out from the rooter to the tutor in English and pig Latin. Okay. Love her to death. Like that's my auntie.
But I miss my short hair. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I cut it off and if it wasn't for the fact that my hair grows so fast and it's just not worth it, I would probably cut it again. I loved my short hair because it was something. Let me be very clear. I think, and to your point, we teach so much to girls and females that they are their hair. And I understand, like, it's your crown, that's great, but that damages them if they have to get it cut, even if it's for real reasons. Like that's why so many women go through so much stuff when they go through chemo, when they have cancer, because you're taught you are your hair, which is why I don't like the India Ari song, I'm Not My Hair, but I appreciate the message. I just didn't like the song. But it's that, like, so like you say, when you have to get your hair cut because it's damaged, or you have to get a lot taken off, it does stuff psychologically to girls and women, because we teach them that they are their hair, and that's not right. That's not good. And then there is a woman, Jerry Kumari, who I have known since I was a child, has had short hair since I was a child. It's a white woman, was a ballet mistress. We met through the dance world, and I have always envied her short hair. And so I finally, because for me, especially, like I told you, I was bullied. I was skinny, which was not the thing to be where I was. Like, you gotta be thick, whatever. I was skinny. So, but everybody's thing was, but you got long hair, but you got long hair, but she got long hair, but she got long hair. So it psychologically was like, and I remember telling people when I was 12, like, yeah, but the people I like had short hair. Like, I like in celebrities, Nia Long, all of them, like their hair is short. I would like short hair. What? Girl, no, you can't. And this was guys. This was not girls. Girls weren't the ones like, don't cut it off. When I told girls, yeah, I want to cut my hair, they're just like, I mean, why?
Ooh.
Then
I got different. I got, ooh, yeah, do it. See, that's what I'm saying. I got different. I don't really talk to guys. I never put too much into what they say in real life anyway, because one minute they'll want girl with long hair, but as soon as they see me alone, Halle Berry, oh my God, it's a whole, that's like, y'all just different.
But I'm saying, like, girls were like, I mean, why? Okay, why? Let's have this conversation. Guys were like, no, what are you talking about? Like, that's my best and only feature. What I will say, when I did notice the change. When I cut my hair off, and I was in Boston, and Boston is very, very white, but where I was white. I actually was teaching at a bilingual school, so most people I was around were like Dominicans, Black people, white people. I was around a whole bunch of people. What I noticed, and it wasn't like it was the same guys, so it could have been different guys, and they may have like my long hair, short hair, wouldn't have cared. But I noticed when I cut my hair off, the amount of Black men who showed me attention dropped. I mean, drastically, like gone. But the amount of white men and Latinos for where I was, which is basically Dominicans, Sky, oh, you're so pretty, mommy. Oh, hello, ma'am. You're so, hello, miss. Oh my goodness, you're gorgeous. Sometimes even when I had my scarf on, because when I would have my scarf on walking around black neighborhoods, you could ignored, nobody saw. When I had my scarf on, I actually lived in a predominantly white neighborhood. But when I walk around where I lived, white guys all the time were like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. And I think it made me realize when I cut my hair, like you say, features and stuff. I realized, and I wear my scarf a lot, a lot. I realized like I'm not hiding behind my hair. And that was part of the reason that I went and cut it anyway. Because part of me was like, well, I don't even wear it out. Like I have the scarf on 90% of the time. So either you like my face or you don't. And I realized that to a lot of black men, not saying all, but a lot, and the ones that I was around, you're not looking at me. You're looking at my hair. And that can go. So basically, I'm like, so if I get cancer and got to get chemo and it all falls out, you're going to go cheat on me. You know what I mean? Like that, maybe not to that extent.
I understand the 1 + 1 = 2. It's a little
harsh, but that's how my mind goes.
But no, I get it. But no, I mean, yeah. I mean, even to this day, like when the last time I cut my hair, let me tell you why I started growing my hair back. So remember, I had cut my hair where it was literally just the top had a little bit of length, but my sides were, when I say I was so content with that, I was fine with it until my husband told me one day I just didn't feel like doing anything. Like I didn't brush it. It was okay. One of your lazy days. My husband told me I look like somebody's lesbian auntie. It was at that moment I said, nope, grow my hair back. And it's nothing against anybody. If that's your thing, that's your thing. It's fine. But when someone who I am married and intimate with tells me and that's what I look like, to me, that was a sign of, okay, it's just time to do something different. You could still stay short if you wanted to, but just do something different. And
maybe that's not the short style. Maybe that's not the short style.
Right. And I was like, yeah, so we're just gonna let this go back. That's how I took that. But I love my short hair. But what I think a misconception as far as socially is, I think women, especially African American women, with certain short hairstyles are taken more seriously. And I feel that way because one thing I don't like, people say, oh, I cut my hair off, it's so much easier to maintain. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. And I'm saying it because I've had it. You have to keep it cut. So you got to make sure your lines is right, period. That's one. If you have a longer piece, you got to make sure that that's maintained, and that maintenance is different from the cut maintenance. So that's a lie. You have to wear a scarf. That is the one point in time where I couldn't stand it because scarves just don't stay on my head. I don't care what I do. I would probably have to glue a scarf to my head in order for it to stay. Scarves don't, like, I put them on and they disappear. Like, I feel like if that TikTok with the Dawn Bonnet do his own thing at night, that's mine. That's my bonnet. That's my scarf, my hair tie. That's all of it. If I'm sleeping in it, that's just, it is what it is. But with short hair, you have to wear scarf. Like, you have to train it. It don't just lay there. Like, that's not how that works. You still have to condition it. It's still maintenance in that. And depending on how you have it cut, it can be more maintenance than having long hair. So stop telling people that having short hair is less maintenance. That's a lie. But I say that because I have seen it. I have seen a young lady with longer hair, and then when she cut it, for some reason, the room around her shifts. It's different. And to me, it seems as if socially she's looked at as being more serious about herself.
But I will say I will say this, because when I cut my hair, like I say, I started attracting a different type of men, different races of men. Okay. But I will say that because I finally did it, and I did what I wanted to do, versus for so many years being told, don't cut it, don't cut it, don't cut it. Your hair is your value. Your hair is your value. Finally being like, you know what? Middle fingers to the sky. I'm cutting it off. I think I walked differently. So I wonder if it's not just that they cut it, but in cutting it, they let something go and something else comes in.
Now so that is something that I do believe happens when you cut your hair, which is why now as an older young lady, when I see people cut their hair, I don't go, oh my gosh, she depressed. I go, you know what? I commend her, because I feel like Tiffany Haddish just did it. And I feel like she did it and a weight lifted off her. She was already like, woohoo. But I feel like even looking at her, she's a lighter, like it could definitely be a vision, a point or seen as a new start, which is cool. Definitely, which is definitely cool. I'm all for cut off the old and start all over again.
But I think that might be why they get taken more seriously, because now when they walk in a room, they command. I feel like in a lot of ways, especially if you want to cut your hair and you don't, there's this weight in your head psychologically that's like, I really want to cut it. And so you find yourself shrinking because you find yourself comparing yourself to, well, Becky has long hair, well, Maria has long hair, well, Ming has long hair, well, Shonda.
Well, if I cut it, I can't do this hairstyle. I can't do that hairstyle.
I can't. You get in your head, whereas when you cut off your hair, I'm not in competition with Becky. Her hair is down to her butt. She white with long hair. This chick is Asian, Latino.
My hair is short and curly. Girl, bye.
you know what I mean? It sets you apart that you take yourself out of a competition. Mm-hmm. And there is something so freeing about removing yourself from the female on female, woman on woman competition, especially whether romantically or in the business world. That you're like, you know what? I'm gonna walk in this door and I didn't. And people who may not have seen you before because you shrank, you did this, see you now because you walk in a room with more presence. So I wonder if maybe it's the fact that they cut their hair gives them more confidence, and so the confidence is why they're taken more seriously.
And that could definitely be. Like, you could definitely be hitting the nail on the head with that. Definitely. Because, we both cut our hair and we definitely, you do feel a difference in it. Yeah. And that's just my observation as far as, society accepting it. And I will say what I do appreciate, even though it's sad that we're still going through this whole thing of acceptance, in reference to hair, I will say I do appreciate the movement in hair. Whether you be relaxed, whether you be short, small head, bald head, whether you be mohawking it, whether you be the mullet, part in the back, this is in the front, whatever. I feel like hair in itself is kind of breaking stereotypes. Because remember, at one point, punk rock, you had to have the short, spiky color, red, blue, green, 50 different colors. Now, to be honest with you, you can walk in the Fortune 500 company and see the secretary sitting there with red, blue, green streaks and talking to you like the person that you were normally used to seeing on television with blonde hair, blue eyes, Becky.
And I think a lot of that.
And I feel like, as society is slowly, very slowly, growing to that. And I just think a lot more needs to happen. Because when you have coaches cutting off people's hair
but I think a lot of that is going to keep changing. And I say it as our age group become the leaders, I think you're still going to have the extreme conservatives and the extreme liberals and you're going to have the extremes. But while the average keeps growing and running these companies and is not judging somebody by their tattoos, because that's a wine for another time, but they used to do the same thing, or their hairstyles, I think as long as that happens, you're going to continue to see social acceptance, because people, our age range is not, I'm not saying that we're not shallow. I'm not saying that we don't judge people by looks. That's just human nature. But I think we at least take a moment to go,
We've become a little more open.
we are more open, and we take a moment to pause instead of automatically just assuming things about somebody. Because
right,
and we realize you can be a lawyer with dreads, you can be a secretary with spike hair, you can be a doctor and be goth. Is that degree, that intelligence, what's in your head? And Erykah Badu had an awesome quote. She said, "I'd rather a natural mind and a relaxed head than a relaxed mind and a natural head." And I think our generation is more of the natural mind and a relaxed head than the people before us, who very much were judging a whole lot on physicality, whether it be race.
Right, but I feel like that was because of the generation before them and like society. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like our generation is pretty much the first generation to actually see things that our parents went through and know we have the ability to change it and actually shift.
Right.
And actually to shift it. So, and I think that's what's happening right now, is a shift. I'm just hoping it don't shift with
too
it
much.
Goes to the extreme. Like I need for us to shift and balance, not go from the extreme that our great grandparents had to the other side. Like I need us to shift and realize there is a balance. Like we're not saying that you can't have. I just want our generation, to remember that there's a time and a place and a season for everything. And that's literally for everything. Right. Not just what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see, what you don't see. For everything. It's a time for things that you don't like. It's a time for it. It's a time for things that you love. It's a season for things that you might not be that comfortable with. Okay. This is just where we are right now. And to learn to embrace it, take the lessons from it, take the meat off the bones, and leave the rest alone. And I feel like that's the issue. Leaving the rest alone is the issue that is our generation's biggest hiccup. Taking the meat off of it and leaving everything else to let it be. Take what you need from it. Take the nutrients from it. And all the other stuff, throw it away. We get so caught up on holding on to the other stuff, we forget we already got the nutrients. You already got what you needed. Yeah. Let that stuff go. Like, let it go.
And I think, though, that's what we're moving toward as we socially accept more and more. There's good and bad, but since we just talking hair, as far as the hair goes, I think we're moving in that direction and actually really having these conversations and challenging, why is somebody with dreads in any position a problem? Why are locks a problem? Why are twists a problem? Why are braids a problem? Why is blowout a problem? Why is this a problem? Why? And
right. And then especially, this is the other thing, especially if this person can't, if it's a problem for this person, but this person takes it and changes the name, and now it's acceptable.
Right. But I think because we're having those conversations to challenge, including that, that what's socially acceptable, and because when you ask why and the answer is not good and it's not valid, and we realize that, and people can admit, I don't really have a good reason for that. Well, let's talk about changing it. Okay. I will say that I think that we are moving forward in social acceptance. And for that, I will say cheers to that.
And cheers to that. Okay. So now that our glasses should be empty. Should be. Siobhan, tell us, what is your rating on your charades this evening?
So this charade says, our Terra Barossa Shiraz displays good fruit, lift, and fragrance on the nose. The distinctive ripe plum flavors are complemented by soft tannins and an appealing spiciness.
Why did you have to read it like, hold on, time out. Why did you have to read that like you were reading the back of a book and like, oh, it was a trailer?
That's how I read. Okay, I do this. Okay, y'all know I read the back of the book. So this Australian Shiraz, it's good. I drank the whole glass, so you know what? I will give this a solid 3.5. And The reason being, I think it could shift to the 4. I just really would want to taste it warm to co-sign that, because for me to give you a 4 or above, you have to be good cold and warm, period. I think when I smelled it, it's the plum, but there's something else in this, because, and I think, did I have a Shiraz lately? I think I may have just had another Shiraz, like a different one. And so I'm tasting
a wine tasting.
I'm tasting a similarity, and I enjoy it. Like, I appreciate this. This would be really good with like a lamb. I could see this with something fatty or heavier. I think a Shiraz is good with a nice baked chicken. Juicy though. Don't dry that. Don't dry
my chicken, girl. Don't dry my chicken.
It's got to be something juicy with it. So like I say, I know lamb is fat, or another fat meat. Oh Lord.
Okay, I'm done.
Another fatter type of meat is good. It's a very good, it'd be a solid dinner wine. It's a solid dinner wine for me. And I will, like I say, give it a 3.5. And what about yours?
I concur. Even though we're not drinking the same thing, I concur. This is definitely a wine for a heavy meat dish, as they say, a nice meal. I do think that the plum you can definitely taste, because I tasted in
is that what's in yours too, is a plum?
It's in mine. I definitely, and I tasted it. Plums are when I could eat fruit, were my favorite. So that's why when I first tasted it, I was like, ooh, that was a nice, pleasant. It's like, hey, you remember that taste, don't you? That flavor. So it's definitely that. I also, mine is chilled. It's not cold. So, and I feel like no, it's not chilled. Well, I mean,
mine also in the refrigerator. So
mine it was only in the refrigerator for about an hour. So it's okay. It's slightly chilled. It's not cold. And I feel like that's the way that this is supposed to be, or room temperature. I don't feel like this Shiraz is supposed to be something that you leave in the refrigerator for like some hours and then drink. I feel like that would take away from the taste of it. Kind of like, what was it? The Pinot Noir that we had, that we were like, yeah, we're not good if
I think cold. Pinot, you know what? I think they're heavier ones. Like a Pinot Noir seems heavy to me. The Shiraz with the plum, because plums are heavier fruits, seems heavier. So I feel like the heavier wines don't really lend themselves well to being cold. They tend to being
cold. Right. Even with lifting the bottle, and that's something that I have noticed. I've been noticing weights of the different wines in the bottles. This is heavy. The bottle itself is heavier.
That's a good point. Yes.
So I feel like, girl, we learning. And I feel like we on to something, but when we get one of the wine experts to really tell us what we on to, girl, it's gonna be amazing. But my overall rating for this Shiraz is going to be, I'm gonna say a 4. I'm gonna give this a 4. I do enjoy this, and I'm finding out that I may enjoy more reds than I actually thought, because I enjoyed the Pinot Noir. I do feel like these should be very good with a nice lamb steak with some asparagus over a bed of brown rice, or mashed potato, a nice whipped mashed potato, right? Like a nice dinner. Like this would be really, really good with. All right, shoe fly. This was good for me. I like it. I definitely do like it. And the fact that it has a slight aging because it's 2013. I feel like, I don't know if that has something to do with anything, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But I enjoyed this. And I'm not finished with my glass, but I've been taking my time. Okay. I have enjoyed it. I have definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, so a solid 4 from Miss Tae Michelle. Yeah. Oh, okay, Roman.
Yeah, Roman is. Roman. For those who don't know, I have a Pitbull Great Dane mix that is a big, big baby. And if you watched the last episode, you saw his little nose because he had to make an appearance. So
yes, that's Roman. Well, this is that brings us to the conclusion of another wonderful episode of A Little Something to Whine About with me, Tae Michelle, and
Siobhan Camille.
And please be sure to subscribe to our channel. Join us each and every Wednesday as we whine about a new topic. Go to the website. Let us know. Also, comment below. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're drinking. What do you feel about social acceptance in reference to hair? Let us know. Yes, no, is it changing? Is it staying the same? We want to hear from you. And remember, as always,
there's nothing wrong with a little wine.